ESPN 1240 and online at WVBW.com. Ryan, Christian, and Ellis with you on this opening day of Major League Baseball. We went over our predictions for the American League. Our predictions for the National League will be coming up shortly. But first, let's go to the PizzaInterCrust.com phone line and welcome in James from 360 Sports. James, what's up?
Hey, how's it going, gentlemen?
Good, good. A lot of people have started their baseball seasons already. What we here at WVBW, we have a draft coming up this weekend. As far as we're looking to do maybe 10 to 12 teams. So, what's a good approach to a draft in a 10 to 12 team league?
One of the things that a lot of people do that I really get bothered, well, not when I'm playing against them because then I feel better because of it, is people try to draft their first starting pitcher too early. You definitely want to wait through that first round before getting your first pitcher. I would even suggest possibly waiting through the second round, especially if it's only a 10-team league. There's a lot of depth that you can get in the starting pitcher roles, very deep in terms of starters this year. I'm more worried about getting your position players locked up first, and then the end of the second round and the start of the third is when you should look to get that first ace starting pitcher.
When you look at, speaking of pitching, a lot of relief pitchers went down. A lot of guys that people were depending on saves, such as Andrew Bailey, went down. Who should people target since Andrew Bailey's not going to be there for the Red Sox?
Well, keep an eye in these first couple of games, especially when a lot of people do wait for this first week to do their draft. Keep an eye there in Boston, see who does take over the closer's role there. There's a couple of possible options as to who will take it over. I don't know. Melancon, I think, is going to have the advantage there, but still you don't want to take a closer until late. I'm still not set on taking a closer until your very late rounds. Yes, they're going to get you saves, but beyond that, they're not going to get you the strikeouts. The ERA is not going to look good at all. Papelbon, I think, would have a good shot out in Philadelphia. Obviously, Mariano Rivera is someone who is consistent and always has been. A lot of people are really looking still at the Giants, Brian Wilson. But I really think that he is someone to stay away from. People are taking him as high as, say, the 10th, 11th, 12th round. I'm not drafting Brian Wilson until well after the 20th, if at all. He had arm injuries to end the year last year, and just he was inconsistent. I don't see him being able to come back and do it again this year. Someone with an arm injury with or without the beard, I think you got to stay away from him, especially.
James, it sounds like you put more of a priority You put more of a priority on starting pitchers than you do on relief pitchers. Is that accurate?
Yes, I do. I think just because a relief pitcher, well, another part of it too, a lot of leagues have a innings pitched minimum, meaning that if your league, especially in head-to-head leagues, if you don't get enough innings pitched from your guys, you don't accumulate the ERA stats or the WHIP stats. Therefore, already you are guaranteed to lose those two categories. Same thing if you do a year-round scoring. You need to have a certain number for the year. For me, though, it's just that you have a much better chance of getting the statistics. If you get a closer, you can come in for 1 inning a game. A lot of them now are coming in. They still give up a run, so it kills the ERA, but then they still get the save. All right, you'll win the save, but save categories with a lot of relief pitchers, but everything else is going to be really down. I'm more prone to go with a power pitcher, the power pitchers in the starting rotation consistently who can get you lots of wins consistently and especially strikeouts. Get somebody, fantasy-wise, it's much better to get someone who will dominate the strikeout category than someone who's just going to hit his spots and throw out 4 or 5 hitters. That's not good for fantasy production. Might be good for your actual team's rotation, but in terms of fantasy, go for the strikeout man.
Talking to James from 360 Sports Network. Now, still talking about pitchers, sometimes you can miss out on closers. And suppose you really focused on getting your starters, so you have a high strikeouts, you probably get some wins, you probably get a good whip as well. But when you need saves and you don't have many closers, what type of pitchers did you look for on the waiver wire?
Well, again, off the start, if you've already done your draft, look to pick up here one of the guys from the Red Sox, depending on who's getting the nod there in terms of that. Beyond that, I go, honestly, you go with just who is doing well, what team is doing well, I guess, is the best way to look at it. At the beginning of the year, there's really no way to say exactly what type of player is going to be, or what kind of closer is going to be the best out there. Look at the teams that you think are going to do well this year that should have lots of wins. That way you have a better chance of getting saves, because a team like the Pittsburgh Pirates, who always end up with losing records, their closers aren't going to get many opportunities for those save opportunities. So you want to look for teams that are winning. Detroit's Jose Valverde is a late-round pick usually. You see him 21st round. I like Keith Bell down in Miami. See him going everywhere. It's all about the players, though, who you are playing against. Some people will go and take the closers very early because they want to lock up the save category every week. Others, you won't see a closer taken until the 20th round. So that is a very wild card based on how your league is set up and who's drafting.
You talked about the Pirates, so get into a little bit what Pirates are worth drafting, and then go over to Cleveland and tell us what Indians are worth drafting in a fantasy draft.
Definitely you need to look Andrew McCutchen as a possible up to as high as maybe the third round. I've even seen him go late second round in a couple. I think that's a little bit high, but McCutchen as a solid first to second tier outfielder this year, coming with a new contract, I think he will be a main factor in Pittsburgh. Also, you got to look at Neil Walker, especially if you don't get one of the top-tier second basemen. It's good to wait. If you can't get, say, Robinson Cano, and Ian Kinsler, Dustin Pedroia, if you can't get one of them, wait down for a little bit, and someone like Neil Walker slips under everybody's radar because of that Pittsburgh Pirates tag, I think. And he's someone who can get you a good number of hits, a bunch of steals. The well-rounded type player is why I think Neil Walker is a good fit for a fantasy team especially. As for heading over to the Cleveland Indians, I would have said your fun new starting pitcher, Jimenez, but you know what? I don't know how confident we can be with him anymore now that he's starting to throw at his old teammates immediately.
That's okay.
One time. Again, good for a team, bad for fantasy, because now he's missing starts for you. Now he's not going to be able to get you as many points. Hopefully, that doesn't become an issue, doesn't become long-term in any sort of the imagination. Beyond him, Carlos Santana, you can play him at a couple positions. I think he's someone to look for. Probably fourth to fifth round is a very good prospect there, just because, again, playing multiple positions, you can go and get a Miguel Cabrera or Albert Pujols early, and you don't have to worry about saying, oh, now I can't get another first baseman. Take Carlos Santana, a guy who can play a couple positions for you. That catcher, first baseman, if you can get someone who plays or is listed as both, it's very good because then you can mix and match as much as you need.
All right, that's all good advice. Thanks a lot for that, James. Before we let you go, let everybody out there know what you do.
Absolutely. We are 360 Sports Network. You can find our website through the WBBW website or 360sportsnetwork.com. We do everything and anything in the world of sports. We want to give you all the best fantasy insight. We can't hit every single player, every single team, every single day when we come on here. So we encourage people to send us their questions. You can get us on Twitter at 3S Network or just by hitting up our webpage. And just whatever we can do to help. We're also setting up a NFL mock draft scenario. So we'll be analyzing the next few days who we all think will be going in the entire first round. And we have some very interesting ideas of what position the Cleveland Browns should be going for. And I know you guys debate that back and forth, and we're going to be able to debate every single position. We have a quarterback, we have a running back, we have an offensive lineman, and we have someone else just saying to trade it away. So you can help us debate that. Again, 360sportsnetwork.com.
All right, maybe we can talk about who you think the Browns should draft next week. But thanks a lot, James, and you have a good week, and we'll talk to you next week, okay?
Absolutely. Good luck in your draft, everyone.
All right, thank you.